How's it going, everyone? Today I have a pretty cool custom Saab that I'm going to be talking about here, and this is not an auction, unfortunately, and last time I did one of these videos, well, in terms of views, it didn't really do so hot, but I'm going to try again here because I think this is another cool car, and if it does pretty bad on views again, then I probably just won't make these anymore unless it's a live ending to an auction. But nonetheless, today we have a 1987 Saab 900 that is supercharged and has a Fox Body 5.0 Mustang engine in it. I think I've seen maybe 3 900s now that have a Fox Body 5.0 motor in it. There was one at SOC. I'll put a couple clips here on the screen. Unfortunately, he wasn't, it was kind of just there for the show. I didn't really get to see much of it driving. It kind of cruised by and had a nice little rumble to it, but I'm sure it was pretty fun to drive. But this one has a huge supercharger on it, and unfortunately it doesn't mention how much power the car makes. Believe me, I scoured the ad for that, but you can still take a look at the pictures and read about the car because I think it's still super cool, and if you guys do want to check it out, I will of course link the ad at the top of the description. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. The car is listed for just under $24,000. It's located in North Carolina. Just to start off here, I don't like to diss cars too much, especially ones that are for sale, but the color scheme on this is, it leaves something to be desired for me personally. I'm not really a huge fan of it, but you can see they have a purple and silver exterior right here. You got some nice side pipe exhausts, and then the interior, I'll show more photos of in a second, has a bunch of yellow on it, so it's a very strange combination. But here's what's under the hood. Fox Body 5.0 Mustang engine right here, and then you can see the huge supercharger sitting right here. So it looks like it's good for a lot of power, definitely more than the standard 4-cylinder turbo Saab motor put out. And you can tell just by looking at it first glance, with how big those tires are, and they're extremely wide too, as you'll see in another one of these pictures. You can tell this is clearly not a stock car, but there's that interior. Again, to me, it's not a good color scheme, but it's different, and there's nothing wrong with being different, I suppose. One thing I just noticed is where the exhaust usually comes out, there's a little tow hook, I'm assuming, right there. That's a cool little touch that they put on. Looking on here, they added like little Cobra badges and 5.0 badges, which is cool, like where it would be on an actual Mustang. That's a nice little touch as well. There's a shot of the engine bay. A lot of the yellow continues to the engine bay too. This is clearly extremely custom, and looking at this gauge cluster here, I think the gauge cluster is really unique. You can tell it's kind of like a cross between a digital and like an old school analog tachometer, because they got all the lights for the RPMs around here and the speed, but then there's also the digital readout in the middle. So I think that's a really cool gauge cluster, super retro, probably fits around the time when this conversion and everything was done. 5-speed manual, probably same 5-speed that's out of a Fox Body. Here you can see the big diff that's in it. We'll talk about that here when we go through the photos, but you can see how wide these tires are absolutely massive. That is crazy to look at the size of those tires. And that's all the photos, but just the rear tire size there's no size on them that I could see, but they're massive. Those are crazy, crazy big. So it looks like it has about 5,300 miles on it since I'm assuming all of this was done. Who knows what the chassis has on it, although it doesn't really matter too much because everything mechanical was clearly relatively new, or maybe it was sourced used, who knows, depends on when the swap was done. So it looks like it's also got upgraded suspension, which makes sense, of course. Custom interior. You can see the big hood scoop there. Purple and silver on the outside. Let me know what you guys think of the silver trim around here, because it's almost kind of like going for that SPG package appearance where they have that gray body kit around here, which looks a lot better than silver in my opinion. It's just too much contrast, personally. Then they're just talking about everything we already saw. Nothing super interesting in there. Fuel injected 5-liter V8, Edelbrock Performer intake and Procharger supercharger, good supporting components, MSC distributor, Excel electronic ignition, upgraded aluminum radiator, 5-speed manual transmission, upgrade front suspension, forward 9-inch rear diff, power front disc brakes. And the fact they say power front disc brakes makes me think that this is a conversion that was done a long time ago, because disc brakes, you know, all modern cars have disc brakes, but 30 years ago, not all cars had disc brakes. So this could be something that was done, you know, a long time ago when disc brakes weren't necessarily super mainstream. Anyways, I feel like I'm being very harsh towards this car, but that's all about all the information that's on here. It's funny how everything else seems to be like classic American. Oh, they've got a buyer's guide for, looks like they got some other Saab stuff here that I'm just stumbling upon. Let's not get distracted though. Again, $23,995. Let me know, what do you guys think? Clearly there's a ton of money, a ton of customization gone into this car. And I think if the color scheme of everything was a lot better, I would find this very, very desirable. It looks like a very well put together car. I'm sure it absolutely rips and runs like a absolute dream. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. I think I already said that. But with that being said, make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed. And like I said, if this does bad on views again, we'll probably stop with these cool custom Saabs that pop up for sale. But yeah, link will be at the top of the description for this ad. I'll see you all next time.